Good morning, guys. It's Tuesday, November 26th, day 2 days in a row of uploading. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. We got a lot of work done last night. It seems like it was just a few hours ago. That's because it was. We are recording today, bright and early. It's just before I get going to work. We got the yesterday's vlog uploading right now, so I figured why not go ahead and start today's. So we've got a lot planned for today. We've got a fun little trip that I'm going to take you guys on, so a little bit more vlog-esque and not so much a info video, but we've got a little bit of content for you. So today I want to talk specifically about starting a business while working a full-time 40-hour work week job. And I wanted to give you guys some kind of insight as to my experience with this whole, having a job and then also having to try to make time for a startup. Now, I'm not going to talk anything about home life or managing a household, family time, or anything like that. This is specifically going to give you insight into what it's like to work a 40-hour work week and then turn around and then work to build a business and try to be successful at it. That's what we're all here to do, is be successful, and I wanted to pass that information on to you. I am by no means the guru when it comes to this. I just wanted to share my experience with you, and maybe you can learn a thing or two, or maybe you can apply some of the specific things that I talk about to your situation. So we've got some fun things planned. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. Again, thanks for watching, and let's get it. So one of the first things that I recommend is understanding how much time you have to spend towards your business, right? So if you think about a 40-hour work week, it breaks down to 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day. You got to also take into account the time that you drive to that location. So in my situation, I've got about a 35-minute road trip to work, a 9-hour day, and then 35 minutes back home. So right there, you're looking just over 10 hours that is already sucked out of my day before I apply any type of work to my business. So already knowing that you're behind the 8 ball when it comes time for your small business, how do you stay motivated? How do you make sure things get done so that when you do, get home from work, from your 40-hour work week job, you can still be productive, you can still be passionate, you can still be, have that drive to want to actually create something, or, just want to do something related to your business? How do you make sure that you're not just worn out? And that's really kind of a personal question. For me, it's a drive to go full time, to be able to spend more time with my family. That's why this past year and this upcoming year are so vital to the business that I'm trying to build, in the sense that, yes, I'm spending less time with my family now, but in hopes to gain back those 40 hours, that 10 hours each day to spend with the kids. Obviously, when you're running your business, and that's all you're running, you're not just spending, 5 or 6 hours a day on your business. You're spending more than that, but you're at home, you're spending it with your family, you're home when your family is, rather than me getting home at like 5:30 when my kids have already been home, for 2 or 3 hours. I can spend the time working on my business while they're at school, and when they get home, or I can pick them up, then I can spend time with them. So that's really the ultimate goal for me, is finding that motivation in my family, making sure that I have my priorities set straight, and what am I going to do to reach that goal. So that's just, kind of food for thought, is just making sure that you have, a realization of how much time you really have, and making sure that you're spending that time wisely. So we just finished our 8-hour day. It was pretty busy, went pretty quick. Staying up late last night kind of took a lot out of me, so I'm hoping that go home, get some work done around the house. We could have some fun with I'm gonna meet up with my brother. We've got something planned for that. Take you guys along with it, but hoping to get at least a good solid 4 hours, maybe more, of editing in. Again, we need to get Lee's wedding completed by the end of the day tomorrow. We got a huge chunk of it done. We got a huge chunk of the actual ceremony done. I think all the cameras are lined up. Audio is synced. We even went through and cut out the camera angles that are bad, and like when I was moving and things like that. So we got that all taken care of. So really, we've just got to go through and just pick the best angles at this point, and set up the intro, and then fade to black, and it's good to go. So I'm hoping to get that completed today, tonight, and then also get a good chunk of the highlight reel done tonight as well. And then all we'll have to do is the 1-minute trailer. So ceremony, starting the highlight reel tonight, and then highlight reel tomorrow, and closing out the teaser trailer tomorrow night. So it's gonna be a long couple days, but don't have to work on Thursday. We don't have anywhere to be till about 1 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day, so we'll see. So kind of going back to what we were talking about about keeping an eye on how much time you actually have, so you don't overextend and set yourself up for failure. This is something coming from experience, in the sense where this is something coming from experience where I've had that issue where I will put way too much on my plate, put way too much on my actual to-do list, and run out of time. And then I'm pushing things back to the next day, and then pushing things back from that day to the following day, and everything just kind of cascades all the way down, and it doesn't work out very well. So make sure that you're planning your day out, and you're understanding how much time goes into each of these things, so that you're not overextending, so that you're not having to push those things back. It's always good to plan too little and then start working on the next day, than to plan too much and have to push some stuff to the following day. So give yourself a little bit of wiggle room in there. If it's going to take an hour, put yourself down for an hour and a half. Give yourself that little bit of wiggle room. That way, if something goes wrong, you've got time to fix it. For example, last night while I was working on Lee's ceremony, for some reason one of the clips, the video feed just went out, and no matter how many times I brought it in to DaVinci and kept bringing, the audio was there just fine, and I know the video is there because I sunk it up with the other clips, so I know it was there. It took me about 20-25 minutes to actually get that clip to work. I had to go back to one of my save files that were on my store drive, and thank God for backups, because the one that I had that was on the computer, along with the one that was on the backup drive on my computer, those two weren't working. But the one that was on my external hard drive, that actually worked. So thank God that was there. I still don't know what was wrong with it, but it's working now, so thank God. But again, leaving myself an extra 20, 25, 30 minutes to handle those issues would go a long way, and prevent me from overextending and possibly having to push stuff to the next day. So anyway, let's get heading home. We've got a lot going on. Take you guys along for the ride. We're gonna meet up with John. He's gonna pick me up. We're gonna go have some fun. So gotta treat yourself every once in a while. So let's drive home. So as far as starting a business is concerned, and running it alongside of your 40-hour work week job, you need to, like I said, you need to really have good time management skills. And one of the things that I've used in the past, and have kind of fallen on the wayside, but have seen some success with, is the top 3 mentality. And basically the premise is every day you create a top 3 list, things you want to complete that day. And essentially what's end up happening is if you complete multiple lists, consecutively, you're going to have like a more successful week. This is also going to help with not getting yourself overwhelmed. We've already talked about that a little bit. Putting too much on your plate to where you're having to not complete certain tasks when you want to complete them, and you're pushing things back. So giving yourself 3 things to do, the most important things to do that day. And what you'll find is when you break up the big things that you're trying to do, like the big tasks, right? If you break those up into smaller subcategories, by the end of the week, you could very well complete one of those bigger tasks. Now, if you had put that large task on your top 3, it's less likely that you're going to complete it in a single day. That's why you break down that larger task into something that's more edible and more, manageable for a day-to-day project. So, you're taking the larger scale projects, dumbing them down into, minor tasks. How do I get from point A to point B? Well, what's A1, A2, A3 look like? What does A4, A5, A6 look like? And before you know it, you have, project 1 completed. So this, this also, it's not foolproof. You have to remove distractions. Distractions are a key thing, and getting those out of the way, early on is really key. Is probably the biggest takeaway I can tell you is getting away from the cell phones, getting away from the Netflix, the Hulus, all the streaming apps and stuff like that while you're working. Like I said, devoting some time to that stuff is perfect, right? So what I, kind of like what I said, giving yourself that time, to indulge yourself in those things, right? Having fun, all that stuff that comes at a price because you're using that time to do those things rather than working. However, if all you're doing is working, what are you working for? So allowing yourself, some time, not a lot, some time to enjoy those things, enjoy going out and having fun, going out and doing things with your family members, and doing stuff as a family here at the house. Those things are necessary. That has to happen. That's what makes us human. That keeps us grounded and keeps our ideas while we're working kind of sound, right? Otherwise, we're just working. So, like I said, guys, this is kind of just my 2 cents. Obviously, there's more ways to kind of compare the two and work, side by side with owning a business and working a 40-hour work week job, and kind of how to balance those out while still being productive at work and still being productive at home. And like I said, you can still have fun. You can still go do things. I had a blast going to the shooting range for the first time with my brother. Never shot a gun before, and man, it was, talk about an adrenaline rush. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Plan on doing more of it in the future. I'm kind of curious if you guys have ever done that, or if you ever done something that, I don't want to say necessarily scares you, but something that you haven't done before, like kind of like a new experience. And that's kind of what starting your business while working a 40-hour work week job is. It's kind of an adrenaline rush at first, and that will peter off, and now the work kind of sets in where you're like, okay, I've got this 40-hour work week job and I'm trying to start this business. How do I kind of transition the two and still keep my mind, my head on my shoulders? So there's a lot of different philosophies when it comes to that. So hopefully some of the information we talked about today was beneficial to you. So I'd like to hear in the comments below, if you agree, disagree, kind of what your thoughts are on starting a business while working a 40-hour work week job. And we'll go from there. So really appreciate you watching, guys, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.